All right, it is time to get your pet questions answered. The number to call, 270-9933.
UW veterinarian Sandi Sawchuck is standing by here to take your calls. Good to see you again.
Sandy. Nice to be here. You know, spring is here.
Spring is sprung. That's
I know.
Good and bad.
You know, I was shopping the other day and there was all kinds of Easter lilies in the store and no warnings on them for cat owners. And I really think that there should be a tag on it saying if you bring this in your home and your cat eats it, they could die. Just chewing on the leaves or any of the flowers. And this even includes some of the lilies that we plant in our yards as well. Very toxic, specifically for cats, causes them to go into kidney failure.
Wow.
So don't bring those plants into your house.
And the warm-up also means the ticks are here, and they are here.
The ticks are out in full force, and we have been seeing, you name the tick disease, we've been diagnosing it in lots and lots of pets. So you should be using either a spot-on product, one of the new oral products. The Seresto collar is one of the only collars that really works, lasts for 8 months. Lots of things out there that you can use that you and your vet can work.
Get them treated. All right, let's go to the phones. We'll start with Sarah in McFarland. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, I have a question about my cat. He's 11 years old and he's been a dry food cat his whole life. I'm wondering if I should be concerned about getting more moisture into his diet.
I think that's a good idea for any age of cat, but especially when they start to get older, we can see problems with kidney disease and diabetes and other things that can throw off their water balance. And so I think it's always helpful to have a cat that likes to eat canned food. Unfortunately, if your cat has never had it before, they may not like it. And it's amazing, you know, this expensive stuff from the can, you'd think any cat would like them, but they learn their food preferences by the time they're about 6 months of age, and there may be no going back.
All right.
Julie's up next in Madison. Hi, Julie.
Hi.
What's your question?
Well, I have a question about a boxer that is 5 years old, and he had, about 6 weeks ago, had a mast cell tumor removed that was a low grade. And now here we are again 5, 6 weeks later, and he has another one now that has to be removed. And so is this going to continue, or is there something that he can be given to kind of keep these under control? Right now I've got him on Benadryl and famotidine just because of the issues with until he gets this removed now.
Right. Well, mast cell tumors are very common in certain breeds of dogs, and boxers are one of those breeds, and we think it may be a genetic predisposition to get them. What mast cells are they're tiny cells that are involved with kind of the allergic response in your body. When you get bit by a mosquito or a bee and you swell up, that's mast cells doing their thing. And so when they overgrow, what can happen is you can end up having, as these cells start releasing their little granules, the whole body can be affected, and that's why she's putting the dog on Benadryl and stuff to protect the stomach and so on. But what I would recommend is you may want to consider calling the veterinary school. We have a study going on right now with dogs with mast cell tumors that you may be able to get your dog enrolled in, and it's something that they'll be able to help you with potentially, you know, coming up with a plan of attack to keep your dog healthy and happy a lot longer.
These are those benign tumors that...
They're not
benign?
They're not. They're the most common malignant skin tumor that we see in dogs.
I know them well.
Okay, yes.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll get to some more calls, so stay where you are.
Let's go to Todd. Let's go to Todd on line 4, talking about a dog who's doing a little digging, Todd?
Yeah, I got 2 Shih Tzus and a Teddy, and the youngest Shih Tzu and Teddy like to dig.
Yeah,
So
you know,
how do I solve that? Pepper work?
Yeah, dogs love to dig, and it's one of those things where it's a hobby for them. And sometimes they're digging to dig cooling holes, sometimes they dig to escape, sometimes they dig just because it's fun, kind of like a kid playing in a sandbox. So what I recommend is training your dog to dig in a designated spot that's okay to dig in. I call it making a digging pit. And it would be easier for you to bring in sand or something like that to be able to have the dog stay clean. And so what you're gonna do is take things like maybe a piece of chicken from last night's dinner or their favorite toy that you can, you know, bury under there and encourage them to dig in that spot. So instead of finding a rock or an earthworm someplace else, I go over here and I find my squeaky toy or I find a piece of chicken, and now they're going to be more inclined to want to dig in that area. So, yeah.
Yeah, my Shih Tzu likes to dig in the bed. Yeah. All right, Mary in Madison. Hi, Mary.
Hi.
Hi, what's your question?
Well, I have a 9-year-old border collie, and about 1.5 years ago, she's been howling in her sleep. She'll be in a deep sleep and she starts howling, and I can wake her up from it, and she still continues to howl. And I was wondering, is that common for dogs to do that?
Well, we do know that dogs can dream, and when they dream, you see them do like the paddling and so on, and they may vocalize a little bit. I talk in my sleep, and sometimes I can be quite loud, and that may be all it is just normal dreaming, but I would recommend that the dog get checked out. We do see some neurologic problems that can cause seizures, especially at night, and that may be what the dog is having trouble with.
All right, we're going to go to Linda real quick in Middleton. Linda, I think on line 2. Go ahead, Linda. Real quick.
I'm calling because I have a 12-week-old Shih Tzu puppy that came to me paper trained, and I'm having a very difficult time making the transition to outside.
Yeah, well,
and I'm hoping you can help me.
Yeah, what we need to do is 100% of your attention is on the dog, and you are going to be taking that dog out frequently and make sure that when they eliminate outside, you're right there to give them the best treat in the whole world. And it's just 100% of your attention's on the dog. Or if you can't be watching them, they're confined. And you're just going to make the outdoors so much more enjoyable than the newspapers. But dogs learn surface preference by 7 weeks of age.
Really?
They do. So the naughty breeder for doing paper training, that's the joys of a winter litter.
That's right.
It's a little bit harder to
Spring
operate.
is here.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Sandy.